Well, hello to my early birds. I always come on early because I know a bunch of you are just like me. So do me a favor, when you get here, you're going to see the little chat icon. I want you to click on it and tell me your name and where you're coming in from. And don't worry, the masterclass itself will not start until the time that it's supposed to start, but I just figured there might be people who want to be on early and say hello and shoot the shit for a minute before we get moving. So say hello. I got my tea. Get your water. Go pee if you have to. Get your lavender oil. I love all the early birds showing up. So hello, I will say. Okay. Well, hello. Sheree, is that how I say it? Hello, welcome. I see lots of you guys coming in fast and furious. I've got lots of early bird people. And you know I love that. So hi. Welcome to 3 Ways to Reignite, Refuel, or Rethink Your Relationship in 2018. I'm ready for you. Well, really, I'm just ready to bullshit until we have to start. But well, hi from Australia, Em. Hello, Caroline. I love that you guys are here with me 10 minutes early, right on. More than 10 minutes early. I am coming to you from the East Village of NYC. And it's finally gotten nice. Not that I've left this apartment in days, because I haven't, but I heard through the grapevine and I can look out my window and it looks lovely out. I'm so super excited to dive into our content, although we're not doing that yet. So you guys, I see you as you're coming in. Say hello, get yourself settled. And you can see that there's a beautiful workbook that you can download right down the side bar. You should be able to see it. And I've put a lot of the actual things I'm teaching are in the workbook so that you guys won't have to take copious notes, because some of it is note heavy. And I just figured I would rather you, I don't know, enjoy your time and not be spending it, you know. So take your time and do that. You guys are from all over the globe, so I know that it's different times for you. Hence, in the last few years, I've created, or I've attracted somehow such an international audience that I've gotten really good at time zones. So I know for you, Em, it's a different day, right? Isn't it Thursday for you? I think it is. Which always is kind of mind-blowing to me. It's a different day. Well, hey, Judy. Hey, Terry, you're great. Can't wait to see your follow-up video on how to break up with someone. Don't worry, I'll do it. Em says, that's much appreciated. Can be fully present with you and what you have to say instead of focusing on taking notes. Much love for that. You know, Em, it's funny. So it's Thursday at 9 a.m. for you? Yeah. What's funny about all the similarities that we have, it's like the over-functioning, high-functioning. Okay, maybe we're high-functioning codependents. All right, that too. But there's a relief in not feeling like you're going to miss something if you don't take all those notes, you know? So I know what you mean about just being able to be present. And Judy, I will do a follow-up video on how to break up with someone. Don't worry, that's coming. I needed people to get clear. And Judy's talking about a video on my YouTube channel where I was helping people get clear, 15 questions to ask yourself about whether it's time to either really put some heart and soul into your relationship, or whether it's really time to find a gentle, loving exit strategy. So I guess once you answer those questions now, if you decide it's time to get out, how do you do it? So that will be the next one when we start moving. Well, hi, Caroline. I'm so glad you're here too. Judy, you said the first video was excellent. I'm so glad that you liked it. Those of you who are just coming in, please put your name in the chat box and tell me where you're coming to us from. And we do have 10 minutes, a little more before we start. So if you need a cup of tea, a glass of water, because once we get going, we're kind of going to go straight on through. I'm going to have, the slides come up to make it easier for you guys to focus. And they're also super beautiful. I hope you appreciate them. But we kind of do a straight thing. I will be answering all your questions in the end, though. So don't worry. And if questions come in and I can grab them in the middle and they make sense to what we're doing, I'll hit them then as well. But it is quite a bit of content, just always over something. But I really wanted it to be helpful. I really want it to be tools that you guys can use. And there is Carol from South Carolina. Can't wait for this. Julie from Roy, Utah. Hi, Julie. And then we have Rosie. Hi, Rosie. How are you? From Novato, California. Well, CA, I'm assuming it's California. Hey, Jen from Canada. Just all of Canada? You're just from the big old Canada itself? You could tell me closer. Hey, Terry, it's Lottie in Florida. So excited to be here. Hi, Lottie. Hey, Megan, watching from Atlanta, Georgia. I love it. We had people on the other one from Atlanta, too. The last webinar we had people, tons of people from Scotland, Ireland, Beirut. I was like, wow. Near Toronto. Okay, I know where you are. Hey, Diana from Abu Dhabi. It's 3 a.m. here. Wow, Diana, you get a prize. You do. You get, I don't know what, but how about a big virtual hug from me that you got up at 3 a.m., mama. Right on. Well, it will be worth your while, and I pray that you'll be able to go back to sleep when we're done. And hello, Marissa from Sydney, Australia. How are you? Welcome to us. And hello, Kiara from Italy. Look at you from Italy. Right on. Yay. I love Italy. I love all these places. I love Sydney. I have not been to Abu Dhabi, but I have to say I would actually really like to. So maybe on my 2019 book tour, I will come to Abu Dhabi. You don't know. Could happen. Hello, Angela. Welcome. Those of you who are just joining, if you want to download your beautiful workbook that our fantastic designer made for you, it should be right down the sidebar so you can have it. And a lot of this is going to be, I really want you to be present for this because the notes are in there for you and you can sort of do a deeper dive. I am going to ask you to participate because you know how I love a class participation moment. So, hello, Melanie from Los Angeles. Welcome. And Angela from Clifton Park. Well, hi, Angela. I think you're Angela who I met on a plane. Are you? Is that you, Angela? Tell me. I'm always meeting people on planes. Anyone else meet people on planes just randomly all the time and like stay friends? Vic, my husband's always like you need more friends? Why are you staying in touch with all these people? I know, I just like people. Kiara said, I watch all of your videos, Terry, and I'm so excited. Right on, Kiara. And Angela, well then welcome, love. Welcome. And hey, Joan from Virginia Beach, Virginia. I'm happy that you are here. Antoinette, hello. Welcome. Where are you coming in from, Antoinette? Tell me. I'm so nosy and curious. Yay. All right. So excited, Antoinette. Me too. Me too. I mean, you guys, we prepped for 6 months for this. So and really, Real Love Revolution season only comes around once a year. So I could barely sleep because I was so excited. Because I only really get a chance to really teach this stuff. And of course, the course is where the deep dive is. But I get so excited to just share stuff with you guys that hopefully will elevate, the quality of your life, the quality of your relationships. Hello. So Antoinette, you're from Atlanta, Georgia. Right on. And then we have Sarah from Washington, D.C. area. Welcome, all my lovelies. You guys, you have time if you want to get a cup of tea. If you have any lavender oil, where's my oil? Is it here? Oh, right in front of my face. Okay. I'm using a grounding oil because I feel like this is cedarwood, because I feel like that's right now what I need. I use essential oils for different things. So to go to sleep next to my bed, I have a big thing of lavender because it's so soothing and relaxing. But right now, I don't want to get too excited. I just want to be grounded and focused so that it's sort of like I'm energetically downloading all of this stuff into your mind and your heart, hopefully. How long will the video be available to watch? I don't know. So maybe Joyce will answer that. I'm not sure. Love oils. You agree? Yes, Antoinette, me too. I mean, we're going to send it to you, so you'll have it. So I think you'll have it for a couple of days for sure. But we're going to wait till the boss, who's Joyce, weighs in on that, okay? Oh, yes. But if you do have oil or you want to light a candle, do that. Oh, hello, Phyllis from Southern California. Welcome. Download your workbooks if you haven't, if you're just getting here. And again, don't worry about, like, you don't need the workbook for what we're going to be doing. I just want you to have it because what I'm saying, what I'm teaching you in the concepts, the strategies, the tools are in there for you. So I just want to make sure that you end up with it. Wow, I'm so excited. But we still have probably a good 5 minutes before we're going to go, because as much as I like to be 15 minutes early, and many of you do too, there are many of our overstressed sisters who might be coming in a little bit late. So we'll give them a few minutes. I am getting this, and do know that you will end up with a copy of this, so you'll be able to rewatch it. So Phyllis says, thank you, can't wait this one to start. I did print out the workbook. Cool. Judy said, Terry, have you ever heard of modality called body talk? I have not, but I imagine it's some kind of somatic something. M said, I couldn't get to the yesterday's replay. That's why I tuned in here. Great. That's correct. I don't know. There was not a replay yesterday of this one because there was a technical gremlin situation. So you didn't miss the thing, Em. You're here for the first time with the rest of us. So don't worry. Is body talk good, Judy? Or is it something you're considering? Why are you asking me? But I am into somatic work. You know, what is somatic work? It's really just things manifesting in your body. And how do you get it out? You guys, a lot of you guys know one of my closest friends is a really brilliant energy medicine expert. And so when I work with clients or we do groups, she always helps because sometimes you just get issues stuck in your tissues, you know? Hey, Susie from Rochester, welcome. Come on in, download your workbook if you haven't already. Maybe you have. We're going to get moving in about 3 minutes. So if you got any last minute things to do, do them. And I am going to ask you guys to participate because there's something about you actually participating that creates more of a stake in the ground thing for you, you know? Oh, Lucy says, hi, Terry. Liv and I are here. How exciting. Yes, Chayla, please. Mercury in retrograde. Wow. And why do I always seem to be launching when Mercury has gone retrograde? Why? I need to be a little bit more astrologically savvy. You know what I'm saying? Judy, it's an energy healing. And I did one session the other day and it seemed great. Right on. I'll totally look into that, Judy. Hello, Lisa. How are you? Welcome for all of you guys. I see a bunch of you joining kind of at the same time. Come on in. We're going to be starting in about 2 minutes. So I just wanted to say hello and let you see me before I put the slides up. Hi. Hey, Sam. You have the flu, but you're here. Well, I hope that you're snuggled up in bed with a cup of chamomile tea or something, throat coat. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Molly from Toronto. Looking forward to it. And me too, Molly. I'm sorry to hear that you are not feeling good, Sam, but this is a good way to nourish your brain, right? Being here tonight. It'll do something for you, for sure. Give you that sense of sisterhood that we all want. Carol says, got my cuppa. I bet you do. All right, so Diana has a question, which we're going to hit questions as we're going on. Where can we find this workbook? It should be down the sidebar right there. So Diana, we're going to save that question till the end. Hey, Andrea. Oh, hi, Andrea from Slovakia. How are you? Welcome. Yeah. Hey, Dia. Wait, is that Dia? My Dia? Wow, you're like, yeah. Hey, man. Right on. Welcome. Hey, Heidi from New Jersey. Welcome. Another Jersey sister. Hey, Dee, you're here. You're in the couples thing, which is perfectly appropriate now since you're a couple. Sure, no problem. All right, you guys. So Diana said, thank you. We'll hit that later. All right, you guys. All right, I'm going to give it another 1 minute. Hi, Miriam from Bali. I want to go to every place that you people are. I've never been to Bali. I really want to. I did. Great. Here we go. All right. Karen from Houston. You can ask a question later. We're going to do the questions at the end. Because actually what we're talking about in here might be food for thought for the question. So it could be interesting. Hey, Lisa, the chat is working because I see you, baby. So yeah, ask the question later. Stay until the end because that's when I'll be hitting them. Do we get a replay of the video sent to us? You do. You do, Christina, yes. And hey, Irene from Miami. Welcome, ladies. All right, I think. Come to Montreal. One of my sons lives in Montreal. You know I come to Montreal, but I'm going to do an event in Montreal. Certainly once my book, 2019 is going to be the year of the book, you guys. So I'll be finding all of you. Hey, Yvonne. Is that Yvonne who I met on a cruise? See what I mean? We got Angela who I met on a plane. We got Yvonne who I met on a cruise. It may not be, though. There are other Yvonnes in the world. Let me know if it's you. All right, you guys, I'm going to, hello, Ilani. I know it's you from Hola from DC. Hi, Ilani. I know you from the group. All right, you guys, I am going to start to pull it up and I'll still be able to see your, I'm starting this, which means I got to get rid of my thing. Hold on. We're starting this. We're losing that. I'm going to go back to chat so I can see you. All right. You made it, guys. You are here. 3 ways to reignite, refuel, or rethink your relationship in 2018. Because a lot of you guys are on the fence about your relationship, which is what you've already told me. So, and oh God, Diolinda is here from Gatune. I don't even know how to say that. I don't even know where that is, but welcome. I'll just call you Dio. Oh, it's a different Yvonne. That's okay, but you're welcome, Yvonne. I'm happy you're here. Hey, Amy. All right, so can I see these well enough is the question after I made you make it so dark in here, but that's fine. Maybe a little more on that, sorry. All right, you guys, real love, baby. Real love with 2 L's, there you go. It's what we all want, right? This is why we are here. So I want you to maximize your time with me besides your beautiful book. I want you to not multitask, please. Just don't do it. When is the last time you actually did something and gave yourself something that would benefit you, your full and complete attention? Can you think about that? When was the last time? Probably a long time ago. Be here now and give yourself the gift of your own presence the way that you give other people all of the time the gift of your presence, you know? Intention is an open heart and a beginner's mind. So I'm just going to ask all of you to close your eyes for 1 second and take a deep breath right into your heart chakra. Feel it expanding. And now take another deep breath right into your third eye, which is right between your eyebrows and 1 millimeter up. Right into that spot and exhale. So you're coming here with an open heart and a beginner's mind. And just for showing up, I am giving you my most popular guided meditation CD. And if you guys look at that beautiful cover of that CD, my very talented husband actually painted that for me because he's so sweet. And those colors are aligned with the chakra system colors. Isn't that cool? Anyway, this is probably my favorite CD. So it is going to be yours just for coming. So thank you. And I will ask you to please stay, because in the end, I'm going to take your questions. Plus, I've been dying to give you a sneak peek into the Real Love Revolution 2018 course. And I'm also giving you a super special opportunity to dive deeper with me. So let's talk about, why are you here? Right? What is it? Why are you here? And I'm going to ask you to share down the sidebar any one of these reasons or your own. Are you exhausted from overgiving? Do you need to make a decision to stay or go? Are you tired of fighting in your relationship if there's a lot of conflict? Maybe there's a lot of silence and you're sick of that too. Are you looking to bring passion back into the relationship? Do you want to feel valued? Do you want to feel seen and heard? So this is all, you guys may have other ones, but please. Amy said, yes, all of these. I feel you. Yeah, I understand, which is why I wrote them. Everyone says all. Wow, so many of you. All of the above. Want to feel valued, seen, and heard. I feel you, Sarah. Lisa said lots of silence. Caroline said tired of fighting, want to bring passion, feel seen and heard. Susan, want to feel valued. Phyllis says almost. All besides stay or go. Alani says agree to all. Rosie said need to decide to stay or go. I got you. Olga says all. Sarah says I have amazing relationship. Wow, it's all going so fast. Amazing relationship, but I feel myself defaulting to overgiving. Yeah, so you want to just cure that high functioning codependency. My partner is awesome, but I'm exhausting myself. Oh, I completely feel you. Adriana, make a decision to go. I want him back. I didn't hear him when he told me this was the direction. Sam said, tired of being the person who is trying harder and doing more of the work. Wow, that is such a common thing. Mostly bring back passion, also improve communication, passion back. Torn between two men in my life. I got you. Christina, to stop being a pushover. Yes. Janet says, oh, Susie says, bring back passion. Yes, you guys, you can see that your sisters, are having people are adding their own, but that there's so much that we feel the same about, right? Need to decide to stay or go. Fallon says, want to reconnect, be kinder to each other, moving on from my toxic ex. I feel you. Stop fighting, bring back passion. So I feel all of you. So let's talk about what you're going to actually learn, right? What are you going to learn in this masterclass? Well, we're going to first hit your relationship archetype, and I've created an action step. So some of you have the archetype because that was when you opted into my list, but now I created an action step. So we're going to go over that first. Then you have the repeating romantic reality. And this includes decoding your unique love and relationship blueprint. And this is a really important step for you guys to actually create what it is that you want in your life, because this is a lot of unconscious material that you may not, if it's unconscious, you're unaware of it. And then we're going to, I'll teach you how to identify high functioning codependency. And then the last thing that I'm going to cover are the 5 pillars of revolutionary love. So why me, you guys? Why am I the person who should be telling you about this? Why do I know about this? Not just because I'm a psychotherapist, not just because I've done this for 20 years with this exact demographic, because this was my life. Like, I understand where you are because I've been in relationships where I was having to decide if I should stay or go. So I'm going to tell you just a little bit about my love blueprint to give you some background on me and my family. I did not believe in happily ever after. Like, that was something for sure, right? If you look at my folks, so my parents right there on the left, hi mom, hi dad, they were high school sweethearts. My father was a basketball star in his small town. My mother was the head cheerleader, basically in a rivaling town, but they were high school sweethearts. And my father went to Union College on a full scholarship for basketball. And my mother went to work in a factory to save money so that she could go to college the next year. So my father's sophomore year, my mother started college. And on her Thanksgiving break, so we know that's only November, right? She got pregnant with my older sister, had to drop out of school. And basically, that was the end of her dreams. My father, who was this basketball star, really could have used to have a son or two, but he ended up with 4 daughters, me being his final shot for a son, which obviously he did not get. And it put me in the position of really feeling like I had something to prove. I had this chip on my shoulder that, yeah, maybe I may not be a boy, but I'll be more successful than any stupid boy you could have ever had. So I had 2 things sort of going against me. And what did I learn from my mother? My mother told me that I should get my education and make a lot of money and save it so that love could be a choice and not a need. And I know that my mother felt very trapped in her marriage. And basically, think about it, like marriage and kids, even though she loved us and was super devoted and a great mom, but kind of killed her dream a little bit, right? Like that's what happened. She never went back to school. So I was very coachable. I am very coachable. And so I really took that to heart, and I became super ambitious, driven by both things, being the wrong gender and not wanting to be trapped in a marriage the way that my mother was. And by the time I was in my early 30s, I was running a bi-coastal talent agency. And, I was quote unquote living the life, right? Making lots of money. I kept thinking if I get to the next level, I'll be happy. I'll feel the way that I wanted to feel. That was not necessarily happening. And I had this big fat lie that I was telling myself about this, which is that who needs lasting love or marriage when I have this amazing, fulfilling career, because I can't have both, right? Well, that's a lie, but that's what I believed, because I had no good role model for it being possible, for it being better than that. So I started questioning in my late 20s. I really started questioning this, and I started questioning all of my workaholic nature and basically killing myself to quote unquote get to the top. And then I found myself at the top and was like, wow, yep, definitely do not feel the way that I want to feel. So I spent a lot of time on a therapist's couch, spending tons of money, starting to really delve into that lie. Was it true? Could I really not have that? And what ended up happening was I had this amazing aha moment that completely changed the trajectory of my life. And that was that what I now recognize as my limiting downloaded blueprint that was handed down from me, from my mother and my mother's family to me, that wasn't written in stone, right? It's very much like the architectural blueprint for a house that someone else designed decades, centuries ago. I mean, and if it goes unexamined, it just gets handed down, right? From one generation to the next. So I became obsessed. The moment that I thought it was possible, I became obsessed with finding real love for myself. Told my friends I was looking, I was doing it. I hadn't put myself out there because I didn't think it was possible. And I certainly had boyfriends, but they all lived in Europe or somewhere else. It was never going to go anywhere. So I became obsessed. And within 6 months, I met Victor, the man who would become my husband. And of course, nothing would ever be the same after that experience, because when I was trying to control everything, I had all these rules and regulations about who I would date and who I would not date and how old they had to be and if they had kids or should they be married, not married ever before. And somehow when I had faith that once I excavated this old limiting belief system in my unconscious mind, that I could really create what I wanted, I just had faith that the universe would bring me, finally, my person. So Vic was a widower with 3 angry, acting out teenage sons at the time. I was living on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. He was living in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And as much as on paper that may not sound perfect, it was perfect for me. I found my family, and I mean, this is us now. So no stretch marks, 6 grandbabies, it all worked out, right? So it was possible, but I needed to change that limiting downloaded blueprint. But enough about me. Why don't we move it on to things that will help you? So the steps and the strategies. So let's first talk about your relationship archetype. So the 4 most common relationship archetypes And don't worry, because you have them in your book. You don't have to sweat it. It's the safety zone, the blame game, the work in progress, and the out of balance. So the first one that we're going to handle, this is the safety zone. And let's just say the key indicator, there's a much longer, there's a much longer way that I can describe this, but I don't need to, because you guys know if it's you. Are you conflict averse? And in the end, I'm going to ask you to tell me which one is you. So that's really the key indicator. So if we move on to what is the action step that you can do if you're in a very polite relationship right now, is do what I call the weekly State of the Union. So you meet once a week to normalize talking about how things are really going, creating space for either of you to bring up topics or situations that you would normally avoid. So it's nice. So you can even do it, Vic and I usually do it on Sunday morning in bed. So you can normalize it without it being so threatening. Because if you're someone who doesn't like confrontation and you need to say something you don't like, it can be very difficult. The second archetype is the blame game. You also know if this is you. You don't need me to describe it any more than the key indicator, which is unhappiness and blaming the other person for your unhappiness. And the action step that you want to do here is you have to keep your side of the street clean, right? Work to take complete responsibility for your actions. When you get into the blame game cycle, it's this vortex of negative energy, and somebody has to be willing to break out of it if it's ever going to stop. So I just say maybe in that moment, because you're learning something about it, you can be the one who just is like, I'm not going to take that bait and do that old dance. Even when it's really tempting, try not to blame and make a simple request of what you would like instead. And even if they blame, you can specifically say, yeah, I get that, but I'm not doing that because that never gets us anywhere. The third most common is called the work in progress. And the key indicator is honest communication and like real vulnerability. And you know who you are. You know if you have this. And your action step is to stay the course, right? Because you know how to do this. So just keep it going. The more positive energy and communication that you bring to your relationship, the better it gets. And all of the goodwill that you afford each other, all of the goodwill that you, the kindness, the niceties, the being polite all the time, right? That creates this well of goodwill that when the shit hits the fan, you have some place to go. You remember easily when you're polite to each other a lot. You remember like, oh, right, he's being a jerk now, but I really love him and he's not always a jerk. It's easy to remember that when you build up this well of goodwill through these actions. And our last type is the out of balance relationship. And this is chaos and drama. And this also can include addiction, abuse, things that you really like. These are serious things that you really have to look at. Both people in the relationship know that something is wrong, but are too enmeshed with each other to change it. The imbalance can include, but is not limited to, addiction, infidelity, and abuse. There's usually a high level of codependency and drama, lack of healthy communication, and limits, which really limits the level of true intimacy that you can achieve. You know for sure if this is you. And all I can say about this is that my primary concern would be your safety, right? Take an honest inventory of how dangerous your relationship really is for you. And being stuck in any kind of abusive or toxic dynamic is really bad for everyone. Seek professional help immediately with or without your partner. And if your partner is unwilling, consider building a safe exit strategy on your own. Because this is a hard one to come back from. It doesn't mean you can't, but both people have to really want to. So I'm going to ask you to share down the sidebar which one of those is you. So I will repeat them again. So we start with the first one, which is the safety zone, which that means that you are conflict averse. The second one is the blame game, which means there's unhappiness and blaming. The third one is a work in progress, and you got it pretty good there. So that's communication and vulnerability. And then the fourth one is out of balance. The key indicator is chaos and drama. So I see you guys. We've got safety zone, work in progress is second, out of balance. And yeah, you guys can definitely be more than one of these for sure. Work in progress, Judy. Blame game, Lucy. I'm both blame game and work in progress. Blame game. So exhausted, said Nicole. It is exhausting. Number 3, mine are 2 and 4. I got you. A mix of all of them. Safety zone. Yeah. I used to be safety zone, but now I'm in a new relationship. I think I'm a work in progress. Right on, Brianna. Unbalanced. Okay, Antoinette, we got work to do. I feel like a mix between work in progress and feeling guilty, blaming, giving into anger. I got you. Split between safety zone and blame game with occasional, hold on, Olga, yeah. Yes, work in progress, blame game and safety zone, work in progress. Yeah, 1 and 3. 3, 2, 1, says Yvonne. We got a lot of them in there. Safety zone, blame game. All right, you guys, so you see, listen, we are in, we're all in different phases, but I hope that the step that I've given is going to help you do something different, or at least recognize that something needs to change. And I've personally been in pretty much all of them, not physical abuse, but I've definitely been in emotional situations that were not good. And each one of those, the really unhealthy ones, really takes a toll on your self-esteem. I found that being with a jealous boyfriend really scratched away at my self-esteem and made me super insecure in other areas of my life. And I really, really didn't like it. And he was the only jealous boyfriend I ever had. I super was like, yeah, note to self, never do that again, because it's so painful. So I want to move on to our next step, our next tool, which is your repeating romantic reality. So this is basically your relationship blueprint, like I was talking about my love blueprint before. And I'm going to ask you to share down the side for this one too. Just the first question we're going to share, which is, were your parents married, divorced, or never married? Because I find this really interesting, because it doesn't necessarily, if your parents were married, it doesn't necessarily mean that it was a good marriage, right? Christina says married. All right, married. We have a lot of married and divorced, married, divorced, married, still married. A lot of parents still married, divorced, divorced, divorced. Never married. Okay, we've got married. My parents divorced. My parents divorced too, you guys, when I was 13. Married, but very unhappy. Yeah, that was my husband's situation. His parents were very unhappy. Married, loved each other, but didn't like each other. Wow, that's brutal, but I totally get it. Divorced, married. So yeah, there's a whole mix. And Elizabeth married, but with domestic violence, right? And that really does. So Dia said bio parents never married. And this really does, the domestic violence stuff and the bio parents never married stuff, all of these things impact your blueprint, right? So I'm going to go on with the questions, and you don't have to answer down the sidebar unless you want to. But if you think about being exposed to domestic violence early in your life, so love and pain got enmeshed or twisted together at a really early age. And so you would then recognize that as romantic love, right? It makes sense. So a few other questions to start getting you percolating on your romantic blueprint. What was your family culture about love and marriage, right? So mine was that men were people to be managed. Anyone? Did anyone have that? Not people to be related to as equals, right? That was the culture. And I had 3 older sisters and my mother, and this was what everyone had. Yes. And it's such a good one. Who had the power, right? I think we're going to get to that. And I don't even know if we ask it on the slides, but that is a really good one. Yeah. My father had the power too. Megan says men were assholes. Oh yeah. Men were inferior. Yes. And when we say manage, that's a really nice way of saying manipulated, right? Like to walk on eggshells, make sure nobody gets mad. Dad comes home from work. If my father wanted the television and we were watching a movie, it could have been the last 30 seconds where you're going to find out who the killer is. And every single one of my sisters and me, he would walk down the stairs. He would be like, hey, sports fans, turning on golf now. We would jump up and run away. We were so afraid of him. So yeah, not the best role models, right? That's not the best culture. So between your parents, was there affection or was there violence? And the thing that I missed so much with my parents, or that I didn't like, there wasn't violence, and there was not even yelling in my family of origin, right? Where my parents had one terse conversation and the next day my father moved out. So I want you to think about how that impacted my relationship to anger, right? Somebody gets angry and everything goes away. Someone gets angry and something dies. Years of therapy working on that anger thing. But there was also not affection. And the not affection was the part that made me be like, wow, super do not want this kind of a relationship in my life, because I'm so affectionate and I wanted that. I needed that so much. And who does your partner remind you of? If you had to think about it. And there are ways that they can remind you. It doesn't have to be really physical. It could be their attitude on life, that they remind you of someone, one of your parents, an older sibling, right? Who does that person remind you of? I mean, when you get healthy enough, you can attract someone or be in a relationship with someone who basically has the best qualities of your parents. But when we're still working this stuff out, and a lot of you guys got married young, like my parents did, like you haven't, it's hard to work things out before that time in life, right? In the way that you communicate and or fight with your partner, is it similar to what you learned in the home that you grew up in? Because if there was no intervention, no like psychological intervention where someone was basically teaching you another way to do it, thinking that you should somehow spontaneously know how to do it is like going to bed at night and just praying that you're going to be fluent in Mandarin when you wake up, but you won't be. Because it isn't about prayer or faith, right? What do I like to say? It's not magic, it's psychology. This is something that nobody teaches us, and they teach us it wrong. And so we've got to learn it a different way, Are there any obvious power dynamics, as we were just talking about, or similarities between your relationship and your parents' marriage? Right? Think about that. And you guys exploring these questions will move this unconscious information to your conscious mind, right? Which will help remove the charge and reduces the compulsion to repeat these unsatisfying relationship patterns. So if in the beginning, when you were talking about your archetype, you really dislike what's going on right now in your relationship, like you're not into the archetype, I'm hoping that you're being able to see that there's a connection from what you learned to what is showing up in your life. And you guys, no matter how much you say, I'm totally never going to be like my mother, I'm never going to be like my father, I would never do what they do. What happens is if we don't find a different way to do it, it becomes the default because we don't know another way. So no amount of being positive that you're not going to do it makes us not do it. You know what I mean? Awareness is the key, because the truth is that it is impossible to change what you are not consciously aware of. That is impossible, right? How can we change something that we're either in denial of? And that's less being completely unaware. That's more like stuff in the subconscious mind where it's kind of there, but you don't look at it, which is slightly different than the unconscious stuff that we're actually unaware of. We don't even know that it's happening. So let's move on to high functioning codependency. I don't know why it looks like that, but okay. So what is high functioning codependency? Oh, you guys, I must have done something to kind of ruin my slides. I'm sorry, but you understand what I'm saying nonetheless. So I'm going to ask you to share. I'm going to put up a whole list of things, and I want to know which of these bullets resonates with you, because I know that they do. As you're writing, I will be reading them. Feeling trapped in a relationship, ignoring your own needs, low acceptance with extremely high standards. So you might be a perfectionist and suffer from that disease because it's terrible. You might have a need to be needed. You might desire to control outcomes and protect others from their bad choices. A lot of caretaking and enabling behaviors, debilitating feelings of responsibility for others, constantly fixing and giving helpful advice in single quotes, even when it's not wanted, Yes, I see you guys. Need to be needed. Low acceptance, ignoring my own needs, feeling trapped, unable to ask for what I need. All of these damn things. Judy, I love you. Christina feels trapped, ignoring my own needs. Julie, low self-acceptance, caretaking, enabling. I got you. Carol basically listed pretty much all of them. She put them in numbers. Monica, almost all. Sonia, ignoring my own needs. Melanie, all of them. Perfectionism. Sarah, debilitating feelings of responsibility. Janet just said, wow, I feel you, Janet, on that one. Needing to be needed. Desire to control outcomes and protect others. All of them, all of them, all of them, because you are my over-functioning, overachieving sisters. You are. And it's painful. It is a painful place to be. So I want you to have this list. I want you to understand that these are things that really indicate that something needs to change, because you put yourself in this position of not being able to win, because the only person we can control is ourselves. And if you don't fix perfectionism, you're miserable in life, because life is super imperfect, you guys, you know? And accepting that, like, it is a daily practice for me. Things going not the way I want them to go, let's just say, can kick up a really raunchy response for me. And yet, listen, this is life. So mindfulness is the key to changing this dynamic. And of course, it takes more than that. But before anything, you must be aware, right? Because what happens? We want this pattern interrupt, right? We want this pattern interrupt. And what happens? Oh, wow, you guys, I'm sorry. Jesus, this looks terrible. But what it says is awareness plus mindful action equals desired outcome. So I want you to set your intention right now for how you want to feel in your relationship. Because another thing that we don't do is basically take responsibility for that, right? It's like your little teeny boat, and your life and your relationships and your work and your boss are like the tsunami, and you're just trying not to drown on a daily basis, just being jerked around from left to right and super exhausted. This is not the way you want to go through life. When you dare to declare, when you put your stake in the ground, so I'm going to ask you to share with me, right? Get brave right now so that we can witness each other. You're going to write 3 words to describe how you want to feel in your relationship. And I gave you some ideas. And of course, you can tell that this is how I want to feel in my relationship. Share adventures, safe, calm. I got you, Kiara. But think about it. If you did know the answer, what would it be? You want to feel loved, calm, supported, all of them. Olga said, I have no idea what to say about that. But you know what, Carol? Think about it. If you did know the answer, what would it be? Right? If you did know the answer, what would it be? Loved, I got you, Judy. Loved, cherished, Dia, cherished 1,000%. Yes, Mama, I feel you. To feel free, share adventures, no hiding, vulnerable, secure, valued, respected, sexy. Yes. Dio says love, supported, respected, and cherished. Trust. I also want to have fun. I don't know if it's on there, but I want to have, oh yeah, it is on there. Because I want to have fun. Yes, Antoinette, you want to be cherished. Right? I love it that Vic treats me like I'm like a little flower, which of course I'm not. But he treats me, still opens the door, says, you don't have to carry those things in, never lets me snow shovel, even though I'm really physically fit, I could. Oh no, just make tea, I'll be in soon. And no one else treats me like I'm a dainty flower, but I love that he sees the part of me that is a dainty flower, you know? So you want to be seen for who you really are. And here's the thing, you guys. I'm so proud of you for saying it, for just being able to put your stake in the ground, because you're telling the universe some shit is going to change. We want something to change because you have to know it to create it. How can you create it if you don't know it? You can't, right? Yes, that's your goal, Judy. It feels great. And keep in mind, you guys, I wouldn't like it if he treated me like a dainty flower all the time because I'm a warrior, right? So I like that he knows I'm a warrior and still knows that sometimes I am a dainty flower. All right, let's move on to the 5 pillars to create real, beautiful, gorgeous, vibrant love. Even if my slides are not gorgeous, I must have not done something right. You know, my tech skills suck. But don't worry, I'll tell you what it says. Our first pillar is self-awareness because, as I said, you cannot change whatever you don't know. You got to really know your downloaded love blueprint and what it contains. Because that thing that's been handed down for like centuries is full of a bunch of crap that is not getting you where you want to go. Understand how your childhood experiences impact the way you feel about yourself, right? And uncover your love blocks. So awareness was the first step that brought me to my beloved. If I wasn't able to change my mind about this downloaded blueprint, I never would have recognized Vic as my beloved, honestly. I wouldn't have. So it's an inside job, you guys. And you don't have to do it alone, but you do need a really great GPS. You know what I'm saying? The second pillar is self-knowledge. You have to unpack all of your past romantic relationships to discover, is there anything that's still supercharged? If you didn't properly mourn the loss of what you hoped that relationship would turn into, that can impact your relationships going forward, right? Identify habitual dysfunctional love patterns. This is what we want to stop doing. Recognize your hidden resistance so that you can avoid self-sabotaging behaviors. So if we look at Julie, right? She was frustrated, stagnant in her marriage, communication was blocked, and she came into the course deciding, should I stay or should I go? After the program, marriage is better than ever. Than it ever was even before the program. Not like at the best it had been, better than it had ever been. I mean, she was super close to actually divorcing him. New communication tools. And she shared a lot of the worksheets, which I said was fine, with her husband. And this really increased the intimacy and joy in their marriage. And they were planning 5 years down the road to buy this dream house. They ended up buying it 8 months after that course ended, which was the first course 2 years ago. Her business up-leveled. And she said specifically, because of her mastery of effective communication and boundaries, that really changed the way that she approached the people that she worked with. And I was like, who knew that was going to happen? I didn't. The third pillar is self-acceptance, accepting where you are right now, what you experienced in your life, because you have to be in reality, right? We can't be in non-reality and build something real. It's essential to not sweep it under the carpet, which it's so easy to want to do, and to really get rid of that mean chick in your mind. So we flip the script on that negative self-talk because it is so brutal. And that inner mean chick gets in the way of you creating what it is you want in your life, and also creates shame. And shame is this low, low vibration that we don't want because it drags everything down. And narcissism and codependency, you must have more than a passing knowledge of these things because they profoundly impact what happens in your life. And Meredith is someone who was newly divorced, and I wanted to share her as a case study with you guys because a lot of you are thinking about getting divorced or are newly divorced, and she was just beside herself that having children was never going to happen for her because her husband kept stringing her along like, yeah, next year. They'd been together since they were 17. It was a whole thing. And after the program, within 6 months, and it was the hardest decision of her life to leave that marriage. Everyone knew them. They were basically the king and queen of Broadway, pretty much. Within 6 months, she met her beloved, got remarried, and now she has a family of 4. Self-compassion, and this is the one that you guys need. Everyone needs it because let's be honest, how compassionate are you to yourself? Anybody? Are you compassionate to yourself? Because I'm going to say I doubt it. Drawing boundaries is really a radical act of self-love, curing the people-pleasing syndrome. And, I also provide some language for the boundaries because it's so hard. So much of the time you don't draw boundaries because you don't know. You're like, I want to do it, but I don't know the words. So I'll give you the words. And the perfectionism trap, we do a whole thing on that because that really sucks and really sucks the joy out of our experiences. Fact. And then the last, which is one of my fave little case studies, is from Dimple. And when she came in, she was trapped in a super toxic, abusive relationship for 7 years that really, she was like, I don't think I should take the course because there's no way that I can get out of this. I don't see it happening. And I was like, hey, you don't have to get out now. Take your time. Keep working the pillars because you guys have lifetime access to the information. If you end up in the course, take your time, go through this. And when the time was right, she was able to get out of that. And her lifelong dream, the end of 2017, her lifelong dream of becoming a published author came true. And it was her sharing her story, her RLR story, to inspire other women to choose themselves, basically. And now she is madly, deeply, and healthily in love with a man who adores, respects, and cherishes her. So she is super psyched, and that's a love story that makes me very happy. And what is self-love, right? What is this? This is a culmination of all of those other things. It brings you to this state because self-love is not something that happens when the universe is aligned, right? The stars align and you feel it for a moment. It is a practice, a mantra, a daily choice, a discipline, right? That's what self-love is. And just like we don't expect to get the ass of our dreams by going to the gym once, you don't expect to understand something and not need to put it into practice on a daily basis, which is why the integration of this stuff is so incredibly important. And I know that so many of you are like, how can I implement these things? What is it, right? How can I do it? So according to me, you have two choices, right? You can either do it the way that I did it, complicated, labor-intensive, time-consuming, as in years or lifetimes, as opposed to weeks or months. Or you can do it simple, specific, and strategic, like with steps. Let me be your personal guide. So this is the point when I get to invite you to join me for RLR 2018. You guys know this. It comes around once a year. It is a 10-week proven program. And in the program and the way that we do it, it's 100% online, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You don't have to be there in person for the calls, which happen to be on Thursday. Our first one is April 5th at 12:30 Eastern Standard Time, but everything is recorded and transcribed. So if you can't be there, that's okay. We have 10 weekly content modules that you'll get, 10 integration exercises, and probably way more than 10, but 10 that you have to do, 10 live calls for laser coaching, so that I can answer your questions, 10 therapeutic meditations, which I've actually designed around the content to hit your conscious and your unconscious mind. And then one of the most important or equally important to the content is we have this members only private Facebook group, because the women in this group being together as a crew, having this tribe of like-minded and like-hearted women, especially if you haven't had good relationships with women, will absolutely change your life. Because when one of us raises our love vibration, we all rise. And listen, you guys, you know this. You are here for a reason, right? It's not random. You didn't just happen upon this. You are here for a reason, and you know what that is. So before I get into giving you more information about the course, it wouldn't be an amazing course if I didn't have ass-kicking bonuses, would it? No, it wouldn't. So just let me tell you about them. The first one is with Danielle Laporte. She's giving us this amazing White Hot Truth digital bundle. So that's everything, the audiobook, the 6 hours of amazing deliciousness. We've got the White Hot Truth Book Club, lifetime membership, and a collection of these beautiful 18 videos with a written guide and a global community. But the thing that's super important that you really can't get anywhere else is this additional bonus with Danielle, where I interview her and she is sharing with us her real love revolution love story, which is amazing. The next one is the Flip the Script on Fear. And this is really a leaders interview series from all of these leaders in our wellness space, empowerment. And I know you guys know them: Marie Forleo, Gabby Bernstein, Chris Carr, who I've known for 30 years, Kate Northrup, who's having a baby right now. I think I keep getting text messages from them. We've got Alex Jameson and Esther Perel, who wrote Mating in Captivity, Mama Gina, and there's a bunch more. It's amazing. And again, I don't have this out there. It's not for sale. This is just for you guys. And then the third course bonus is that I just couldn't leave it at self-love. It just didn't feel celebratory enough. So the course bonus is I created a full 11 module, right? So it's the 11th module of the course is our self-celebration module. So you are going to get more real love, revolution love stories from Daphne Oz, from The Chew, and Mama Gina, and Patricia Moreno, and Nancy Levin, and many others. And this is super fun. And we also dive into your sex and pleasure blueprint, jumping back into the dating pool, self-sensuality, daily courageous acts. It's just super great. And because you're here, and if you decide while you're on this webinar to purchase, we have 2 additional amazing fast acting bonuses. So this is from one of my best friends, Energy Lara, who is a super skilled energy medicine expert. And it really is a priceless collection of over 50 videos with energy exercises for everything from insomnia to drawing love into your life, having more energy, anything that you need. If you're traveling, she's got one so that you don't get jet lag. Like everything is in here. It's awesome. And then the next one is from me because I asked you guys what you want. And this is what you said, that you have problems with friendships with women. You're not sure how to deal with them. So I'm doing a live workshop called Bad Friend Breakup Guide. And we're not just going to be talking about breaking up. We're going to be talking about how can you manage those relationships better. So let's get to this word actually is compare. It's hard to see in this, but that's what it says. Let's compare. So relationship coaching, if you did it for a year, once a week for a year, it would be $9,600. That's what that's supposed to say. Dollars. If you did it for 2 to 5 years, it'd be 20 to 50 grand. That's what it would cost. Now, that's not the best deal going, or you can buy it right now today with me. And we're doing this early bird pricing. This is the most flexible plan. It is absolutely worth this and more. And that is $97 a month, 12 monthly payments. And I just added this actually today because I got feedback from you guys that you really wanted it to be. Some of you were having trouble, really wanted to do it and couldn't afford it. So here you go. That is your most flexible plan. And because we're still in the early bird pricing, it is $97 based on the $997 price. If you pay in full today, right now, if you decide this is what you're doing, it's a payment of $997, and you also get 2 Zoom calls with a small group with me. And this is to help you continue integrating. So it's going to be the last week of the course and the week after that, so that you're sure that you have that integration. And on the Zoom, it's a little bit different because I can see you and you can see me, which is different than the live streams, which is what the rest of it is. So those are your choices. I know that we are putting something right there, terricole.com/join, if you want to do it. So please just click on that. Well, actually, you can't click on it. I don't know if you can click on it. Anyway, just Joyce will tell you what to do down the sidebar. And I also have a risk-free 30-day money-back guarantee. And listen, you guys, if you do the work, if you actually do it, you complete all the integration exercises, and you provide me with proof of participation, and you still are not satisfied, which means you can tell me that nothing changed in your life. You don't feel better. You don't feel better about yourself. Yeah, I'm going to say that probably isn't true, but I'll give you back your money. So we do have the money back guarantee. And if you add all of the things that are in here, so many of them are priceless. It's worth $4,750 plus all the 8 bonuses, the interviews with industry leaders. It is a package. So I'm going to hit all of your questions now. Thank you so much for hanging in. You guys are the best. I love it and super appreciate it. So I want to go back to, I know that there were some questions before. So I'm going to do aligning. I see you. Is there instructions on how to use our scholarship? Yep. Yeah, don't worry about it. We've got that. Joyce will get you. Wow, the 12-month pricing is fab, says Carol, right on. So I expect to see you clicking that link. Nancy says, thank you, Terry. You're so welcome. Thank you for the early bird pricing. You are so welcome. I'm so excited, you guys. So excited. So I'm going to go back to the questions. Hold on.
questions from earlier.
Oh, okay, cool. So this is from earlier. So Molly said, we are at a terrific phase in our relationship in terms of respect, communication, harmony, but I've been working on my boundaries for years. We're awesome in terms of coexisting in a civilized, loving way, but again, there's no intimate relationship, and it was my decision, and I'm perfectly okay with it. I hope this is normal. That's why I'm here. Here's the thing, is we're not going to put it in the normal and not normal. All right, Molly, like, let's not make it wrong or good. It's really about, what do you want? So if you're saying you don't want that passion or that intimacy, there is no normal, you guys. People have all kinds of arrangements and agreements. So if you hear that, Molly, if you're good with it, then that's fine. Then that's great. Then that's what works for you guys. This is like people who have open marriages, right? And you know, that wouldn't work for me, but if that works for them, right on. I don't say any of that is not normal. It's all about you knowing what you want and being able to get what you want. All right, so Carol says, I need to learn who I am and to communicate. Yeah, well, when we cure the disease to please, though, Carol, it's so much easier to actually know who you are. You know? Kiara said, I want to stop feeling like I'm always on the brink of breaking up because we hurt each other. Yeah, well, that's the cycle of the blame game stuff, and the chaotic one as well. That last one, out of balance. And so I don't blame you. You do want to stop that. And you're probably going to be the person, Kiara, who has to stop that, because the other person most likely won't unless they're in therapy themselves. And Angela said, I have a new wonderful relationship and I want to keep it that way. Right on. Because, you know, there's also, I've been, you know, married 20 years. There's also a lot of things that we cover in the course about when you do find this juicy experience, how do you keep it juicy? How do you keep it healthy? How do you keep it good? Because it can be hard. It's easy for it to get stale. Marissa said she wants to stop fighting, bring back passion, feel seen and heard. I totally get it. Moving on from my toxic ex and giving a chance in a new relationship, says Diana. And that's another thing, is getting your sort of like your sea legs, right? Being in this new experience. So many of you guys are out of long-term relationships or feel like you're getting out of long-term relationships. And who are you if you're not in a long-term relationship? And that's something to really think about and get to. Carol says, I've made myself so invisible, but now I actually don't talk to anyone in my family that I live with. Must get past fear of this. Yes, because being invisible is this defense mechanism that, like, wrongly, it's like this illusion, you know, Carol, of like, well, I can't get hurt. But it's so isolating that that's a whole different kind of pain, you know? So we've got to be seen and heard, and learning how to slowly, baby step by baby step, because that's what this course is about, right? Nobody changes overnight. And why do I give you lifetime access to the material? Because you'll be working on it. You can revisit it. I have so many people from the past two years saying I've started revisiting it in August. It's amazing what I learned, because you get to one level of your own illumination, let's say. And then when you go back to those modules, that information means something different to you now from where you are. So it's something that it'll be a lifetime. I still go in, I created it, and I still go in and use it when I'm struggling with something, you know? Sarah said, I have an amazing relationship, but I feel defaulting to overgiving. Yes, you were saying this before. My partner's awesome. Right, but I have past relationships and I need to reel it in. Part of it is that, Sarah, I know you know the reason to reel it in is because the amazing relationship, if you continue to overgive, that overgiving train only has one destination, right? Where does it go eventually? Bitter land. That's it. Excuse me. There's no other stops on that train, even if the person is amazing, because you end up getting sick. So many of my older clients come to me with autoimmune disorders because they've just given themselves away to death. And so it's a process, and you're aware of it, which is the most important thing. Gloria said, hearing this story of Terri and resonating so hard, only 28 years old, and much of the same patterns and relationship circumstances experienced in my 20s, emotional unavailability, geographical distance, one-off connections. Oh yeah, those were always great. Very happy that I've recently found a person and a dynamic that is so different and feeling special with such a high level of maturity, communication, and integrity. Doing the work over the years has been worth it. That's so amazing, Gloria, to get there. And it is worth the work, you guys, right? It's worth doing the work, because it is in doing the work that things change. The early bird pricing, I think we're ending it on Monday night, I believe. Yeah. Antoinette, I think that's the answer. How can I get over? Oh, yeah, we were just talking about that, right? All right. So sorry, am I answering shit that Joyce is already answering because I don't need to? Yeah. Someone else will get to you, Heather, about that. Dia said, you helped me clear the way to meet my match. You're doing this for people in relationships, obviously. Will you do another for singles too? Yes, I did, babe. I did last night. And you can get the recording of it, Dia. We did the singles one last night, and it was great. Or is RLR for both groups? It is for both groups, babe. It's for both groups, and you can still refer people, because if they sign up for on the Masterclass link, then we will know to send them the replay, and they have buttons to pick, Dia, whether they're single or in a relationship. So yeah. All right. Trying to decide if I can continue with being with a passive aggressive man who's not comfortable with affection or communication. Do these people ever change, or better to just jump ship? You know, Judy, here's the thing. Let's focus on you changing and see what happens, because relationships are a dance. So yes, he's doing his dance, but you're also doing yours. And so I promise you, when you change your dance, I'm not telling you how his dance will change, because I don't know, but it will have to change, because he cannot do the exact same thing that he was doing. It's impossible. So I would say, because I think you already signed up for the course, I think you're in it. If you're doing it, or I say do it, and spend 11 weeks focusing on you, raising your vibration, your awareness, being in a non-judgmental circle of sisters. See what that does for you, and see how it reaches out, because your vibration changes, and it really does impact everyone around you. You know? So Nicole is saying, how do I know when to leave, no matter how much we both work at it? We're constantly arguing, disagreeing on what we want. Well, part of it is you've got to master you. You have to become the master of you, Nicole, because these relationships, I always say about when you're conflicted, when you're torn in a relationship, and you're always like, I don't know, he's a really good guy, but I'm not sure. Maybe I should leave. Maybe I should go. It's like that. Usually confusion is sort of a code word for, I don't want to know what I already know, because I'm afraid I'll have to do something that I don't know how to do. So maybe take a break from fighting, call it a truce. Don't get into the dance. Don't do that dance, right? Just don't do it, and see what truly, like brightening your own love light, knowing yourself better, how that would impact the relationship. Because so many people come into this experience looking for clarity. So many women have taken this course, and I chose to share some case studies with you of women who, I mean, I had so many in the past few years who came in really being like, actually, I have no idea. I don't know. If it goes on like this forever, I want to get out. Can it be better? We have a foundation. We've been together a long time. There's all these reasons why, and all these things that we love about those people. And what ends up happening is that it's the transformation, the internal transformation that you do on yourself, that ends up either giving you total clarity about what you should do in the relationship, or creating an opportunity and an opening for you to do something totally different within this relationship, as I was sharing about Julie before. She wasn't like, oh, it's just like it used to be. She's like, it's better than it's ever been. And she came in fully like, I don't see it. We're at an impasse. I don't see us ever fixing it, you know? So I hope that was helpful, Nicole. Hold on. For fresh new relationships, sounds like this could be a way to set the correct foundation for something to last. Absolutely, Gloria. And I'm also doing, I do a singles masterclass as well, but it all leads into the same Real Love Revolution 2018, you guys, because the truth is each one of these pillars is about your relationship to yourself, because that is where the transformation will come from. And Em, I want to hit your situation because you said it's complicated. So let's do it. 9-year relationship that is now long distance due to a breakup over my infidelity. We're now back together, but the relationship wasn't connected and lacked support and intimacy. So I emotionally cheated with another man who treats me with so much love. I'm 24 and he's 34 with 2 kids and a messy, complicated divorce. Where do I start? Well, here's the thing. You've got to start with what it is that you want, because you can't want both of those things equally. You want the way the 34-year-old makes you feel in your 9-year relationship, right? So what you want is kind of not possible. But if you figure out, which you can do, and this is what we do in the course, how you want to feel, if you put your stake in the ground, as we were saying, you will start to be aware of where and when you don't feel that way. It's all of these experiences, one after the next, that actually creates your clarity of movement. But it requires you having a different relationship to yourself, which is why we all start with ourselves. This is why the pillars. And of course, it helps you interact differently with everyone in your life. This doesn't just up-level the romantic stuff, because what you're really doing is transforming your relationship to yourself. Olga says, my challenge is finding my inner peace and clarity, so I stop doubting myself and know who I am. There are a lot of things that I'm not okay with, but also good things too. How do I get clarity on what is the best decision for me? You continue to contemplate. You continue to break it down into manageable pieces instead of the overwhelm. You take the first thing on that what's not okay list and you break it down. You analyze it. You look at it. Why am I still letting this person borrow money from me when they don't pay me back? Let's just say, oh, who do they remind me of? Oh, you start to get your own insights into what it's about. Because confusion is a lot of internal boundary stuff too, feeling very unsure. So the more solid you get inside, the easier it's going to be. And M asked if I do one-on-one coaching, right? One-on-one therapy. No, I do not. And actually, I only offer this course once a year because I couldn't possibly deliver it. It's so much energy, although I love, love, love it. It's my favorite thing. But it would be impossible to do it twice a year. I couldn't. There's no way. Janet says, I've been married for 23 years. We've been working on each other, but past creeps into my mind at times. So I'm not sure what you mean. The past bad times keep coming to your mind? Because maybe that means there's something that you need to actually continue to unpack, you know? Oh, I should be looking up because, of course, Joyce is answering these questions that I'm answering. Michelle said, what to do when married to a good man who you don't connect to and loving another man who you connect to, but is maybe not trustworthy, in love with the wrong man, but cannot let him go. Oh, Michelle, I understand. I believe this was my mother's situation. You know, Mama, it's like you can't do both. You know, and there's no judgment, like forget the shame, get out of like making yourself wrong for all of this. You are in a conflict because something is not right. This second relationship tells you this is like your needs are not getting met in your primary relationship, which I know that you know. So the bottom line is you can't go on like this forever. And actually, I mean, unless everyone's in agreement or unless you don't mind, you know, I actually have someone in my life that I love very much, won't name names, but like someone related to me who I found out way later in my life, she actually worked in a business where she was like an executive, you know, like ran the office, and she had a 35-year affair with her boss and was not intimate with her husband, and her husband didn't know about the affair, but she was happy. So, you know, people have all kinds of agreements. From what you're sharing, I don't feel like you're happy. You're torn between two lovers, not to quote an old song from the 70s, but so something has to change, and that change has to be within you, Mama. You know, that's it. And the thing is, it's not about being in love with the wrong man, let's say. It's about figuring out what is your truest heart's desire. And you can only know that if you know yourself, you know? Okay, hold on. All right, you guys, I feel like we're getting to it. Is there other questions? Okay, so Lucy said, yep. What do you do when you know what the patterns are that get you into a fight? You know that you don't want to react like your parents, that you still have not found a way to get through to your partner. I hate to say it, Lucy, but I'm going to say it. Take RLR, sister, because you need it. But anyway, I'll give you some other ideas too. Don't worry, you guys. I know, Lucy. Listen, knowledge is one part of it, babe, right? This is like awareness is one piece. But the integration and making another choice, you need internal space. How do you create internal space so that you are responding and not reacting? Through a daily meditation practice is one way. Walking out in nature is another way. Slowing down, not always being late, right? Oh, was that Liv asking the question or Lucy? Anyway, you guys are together, fine. You know what I mean? Like there are all of these other things that impact your question. So it isn't one thing, like do this one thing. It's a series of changed behaviors. So I like to say it's like next right action, next right action, next right action. That is what we do. All right. Delivering signed. So Adriana says, delivering signed separation papers to him tomorrow. I know I need to change my behavior for me, but I want him to wait. I'm not sure what that means. You want him to wait. You want him to, okay, well, if you want to say what that means, you can tell me. Do I have access to all material for all time or certain material by month? It is, so the modules are released 1 week at a time, right? So week 1, so we have the pillars, which are 5 pillars. So we work on each pillar for 2 weeks, and then we have the additional bonus week. So yeah, once module 1 is released, you have content, you can have it for all time, and then module 2. So, but it isn't all there at once because it's definitely not a do-it-yourself type of a thing. So I hope I answered your question. And if I look up there, probably Joyce already answered it. Here we go. Okay, but with my Carol said, I need this not just for my relationship with my husband, but with my grown kids still living and working with us. Wow. Yes, you do, you guys. I understand. And boundaries are a big thing. And speaking truthfully is a big thing too, you know? So I want to welcome you guys because I see stuff coming in and I didn't see it before. So don't think I don't care. I super do. Of course, it's so small. I can't freaking read it. Hey, Amy, welcome to RLR 2018. And hello, Helly, welcome. I love it. Hello. Here with Carolina, welcome. Megan, Wendy, Debbie, Dana, Diane. I'm super excited to welcome you guys to RLR 2018. All right, I'm going to take one more question, and you guys know if you want to do it, it's terricole.com/join. You do have 24 hours in which to purchase, where you will get the fast acting bonuses, which is the Lara library of energy fixes, basically, and the Bad Girlfriend Breakup live course with me, which is going to be in May. So you have 24 hours. So if you're going to purchase it and you know you want to do it, and you want to get those 2 things on top of all the other zillion bonuses, then you want to definitely buy within 24 hours. All right, Sonia, my 11-year long-term relationship is in the process of intentionally uncoupling, I guess you're saying, due to past year and a half of not tending to ourselves. Through a hard time and communication breakdown, there is deep love between us, but due to family losses, identity loss, and health conditions, autoimmune condition crisis, I feel you, Sonia, set our relationship over. He's asked for space and time and unattached to work on himself, basically. Like he wants to unattach from her. And looking for clarity. I'm in the thick of processing all of this in relationship to myself and sexual trauma from my childhood. And now it's manifesting in my womanhood and relationships with loved ones and how I feel and see myself. I completely feel you, Sonia. And I hope that, I knew what you meant. I totally got you. Sonia, I hope that you have done with the early childhood sexual stuff. I hope that you are doing some professional work with someone, because that can be super overwhelming. Like super overwhelming. Yes, Olga, go sign up now. Right on. I love it. I will welcome you. So thank you for sharing that, Sonia. I really super appreciate it. I'm witnessing you with so much compassion and love. Alicia. Okay. My husband and I my husband said he wanted to separate back in December. I know the behaviors I displayed to get us there. He said he's done trying and that we no longer have a connection, that he misses his best friend. I've lost all self-confidence and I'm trying to make positive changes, but keep dwelling in the past over what I should have done differently. Is there any hope? We've been married 3 years, together for 13. Of course, Alicia, of course there's hope, babe. As long as there's a breath in my body, of course there's hope. Are you willing to do something different? Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to let me guide you? Can you be brave? If the answer to that is yes, then definitely there's hope. And trust me, you guys, I'm not saying I'm the only intervention. Obviously, there's many things that you could do, but I promise you, you've got to do something different. You know, you've got to do something different because what is that? Who's that? Einstein said that, doing the same exact thing over and over, expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. I believe that's what he said. M said, I'd love to hear about the age gap between you and your husband and any fears and challenges you had about that. And of course, the step babies. Okay, well, they were step teenagers. So I just skipped the terrible twos and just flew face first into the terrifying teens. So yeah, there is no book for how to do that. Trust me. My husband's 10 years older than me. So I don't know. I don't have a ton of feels about it, right? I had a commitment from him that he would stay physically well, that he wouldn't let himself go. That was an absolute non-negotiable agreement between us, that he would not be unhealthy. We work out. And if he falls off the wagon, I'm like, yeah, no. Because remember, that was part of our wedding vows, basically our private vows. So for me, I don't know if I would have had a fear if he wasn't. I had a boyfriend who was 8 years younger than me, who I broke up with because he wasn't in good shape. And I was like, we're in our 20s now, man. But you know what? You're going to be 55 someday. And that's not going to be cute. Right. And I'm in great shape. So I didn't, I wasn't looking for that. And the blended family thing, I don't know. I don't say it's for everyone, but it certainly was for me. And I was ready for that challenge. And those kids needed a mom figure. My oldest son is only 14 or 15 years younger than me. So I was more like a bossy older sister probably to him. And the younger two really needed a mom. And so I was more of that to them. But I feel like a mom to all of them, or an angel in their life. I don't know. I just wanted to be someone good. And I wasn't super hung up on it being like they needed to regard me in any particular way. I really just wanted to be somebody good in their life. And they needed someone to take down the orange wallpaper and rip up the nasty carpet. You know what I'm saying? They really needed a woman who was like, okay, you're getting your teeth cleaned on Wednesday and doing all the stuff that we do. We organize everyone, Wow. Okay, you guys, I'm getting down to it. I don't know that I feel like I've hit a lot of them. Lucy said, can you really change a pattern only by changing yourself? Do you need help from your partner? Do you need to establish rules? Oh, definitely. Lucy, listen, of course, I have, it's called a couple's vision. Don't worry, we talk all about it. You do need a couple's vision about agreements and how are you going to spend money? How are you going to spend your time or your time off? Where do you see yourselves in a year or 5 years, So, yes. And here's the thing. When you change, though, my point about the changing is that when you change yourself, your partner changes because the dance changes. Because your partner can't do the same steps when you've changed your steps. You get what I mean? So, all right, you guys. Oh, you just signed up. Welcome. Oh, I'm so excited. You guys, I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this added some value to your life. I hope that if you're interested, that you join me for RLR 2018, because I would love to see you on that Bad Girlfriend live jam, because that's going to be awesome. I'm so looking forward to spending really about the next 3 months with you people. We will make a deep connection as I've done in the past, but the real deep connection that you make is with yourself. So I hope that this was valuable to you. I'm sending so much love from the East Village. Mwah. I am kissing all of you and truly, truly appreciate your time and attention for this long a period of time, because this is my baby and I really appreciate it. And I hope that you got value. So I will see you guys, many of you, in the Real Love Revolution Facebook group. If you're not in there, go join. Yes, you can. Yes, Sonia. Joyce will answer that, but sure. We're very friendly. All right, you guys. So I'm going to try to do this right, Joyce. I know what to do. I'm going to. No, it's mainly about relationships, Christina. But when you change, all your relationships change. That's all we're saying. Okay, I'm going to kill my mic and turn it off. Okay, you guys, thank you so, so very much. You will get the replay of this, and you will get the gift that we offered you in the beginning. So no worries. You don't have to email Joyce. She's on it. So I'm going now. Bye, because my throat is killing me.